In the world of chess, superpowers are usually forged over decades. You've got the titans, right? Russia, the United States, China, India. But just recently, a new force emerged, seemingly out of nowhere, and just shocked the entire establishment. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on the Grandmaster Plan that put Uzbekistan on top of the global chess world. It's an incredible story of ambition, strategy, and a single president's decree that honestly changed everything.
So, this is the big question, isn't it? How does a country just become a chess superpower overnight? Because at the 2022 Chess Olympiad in Chennai, a team of Uzbek youngsters, their average age was under 20, they just stormed the field and took home the gold medal, leaving all the traditional powerhouses in their dust. It was so dramatic, so out of the blue, that everyone started calling it a miracle. But was it really a miracle, or was something else going on?
Well, the short answer is no. It absolutely doesn't happen overnight. This wasn't a miracle. What we're about to see is that this victory was the direct result of a meticulously planned top-down strategy. They didn't just find talent, they built a machine to create it. This wasn't just a sports program, this was chess as statecraft.
Okay, so let's really set the scene. Picture this. Chennai, India, 2022. It's the 44th Chess Olympiad. The Uzbek team, led by the prodigy Nodirbek Abdusadarov, weren't even really considered top contenders. But they went undefeated through the entire tournament, clinching the gold in a nail-biter of a final round. It was an absolute statement to the world.
So to understand how they pulled this off, you can't just look at the chessboard. You have to look at the government boardroom. It all really begins with a single, transformative government document that laid the groundwork for everything that was about to happen.
And here it is. This is the document. Signed by President Shavkat Mirziyoyev, this decree was a central piece of his new Uzbekistan vision. And what it did was officially shift chess from just a simple pastime into a national strategic priority. It was basically a declaration of intent. We are going to build a new generation of intellectual champions. And listen, this was not some vague statement of support. No, this was a concrete business plan with specific, measurable targets. The government laid out clear goals: get 3% of the entire population playing chess, build 25 new specialized schools, target 40 specific regions to make sure they weren't just focusing on the capital, and, this is the most audacious part, break into the FIDE top 10 countries. And you know what? They actually smashed that last goal years ahead of schedule. And this right here, this gets to the absolute core of their strategy. 1 million players. Just think about that number for a second. 1 million. With a pyramid that wide at the bottom, the law of large numbers practically guarantees that genius is going to emerge at the top. This wasn't about finding a diamond in the rough. This was about building an entire diamond mine.
So you've got the master plan in place. But how did they actually build the talent pipeline? Well, it started exactly where it had to, at the very beginning, with the nation's children.
They put chess directly into the national curriculum for primary schools, and this is so crucial. It's not some optional after-school club. It's a mandatory subject, just like math or reading. The state provides everything: the boards, the clocks, the books, making sure that even rural schools with fewer resources have an equal shot. They even rolled out digital platforms to help teachers who aren't necessarily chess experts themselves. But it's not just that they teach chess, it's how they teach it. The former national coach Ivan Sokolov has talked about their unique philosophy. See, the global trend right now is for kids to just memorize complex opening lines from chess computers. But Uzbekistan focuses on classical foundations. They teach deep strategy, how the pieces work together, how to control the center. This means their players learn the why behind the moves, not just the what. It creates these flexible, universal players who don't just crumble when an opponent plays something they haven't memorized. Okay, but a plan and a teaching philosophy, that's only part of the equation. You still have to fuel the engine, right? And this is where the Uzbek model gets truly, unbelievably powerful. They built a system of life-changing incentives. For winning that 2022 Olympiad gold, each player received 600 million som. Now, that's about 55,000 US dollars. And you have to understand, in the context of the local economy, this is not just a prize. This is a transformative, life-altering amount of money. We're talking about the equivalent of decades of an average family's income.
And it didn't even stop with the cash. The 2022 winners each got a brand new Chevrolet. They were given the national title Pride of Uzbekistan. And for their bronze medal in 2024, another new car and even housing provisions. This system provides immediate, real-world security. It turns chess from a hobby into one of the most attractive and viable career paths in the entire country. And you can just see the result of that kind of investment right here. When you make chess a real vehicle for social mobility for a better life, you elevate the entire game. It becomes exactly what this quote says, a source of national pride and a symbol of faith in the country's future.
So, when you put all of these pieces together, the political will, the mass education, the powerful motivation, what you get is a sustainable chess powerhouse. In effect, what they're doing is reviving their nation's historical legacy as an intellectual hub, like a new Silk Road for the mind.
And of course, they've backed all this talent with a dream team of world-class coaches. Ivan Sokolov was the architect of that 2022 victory. For 2024, they brought in a former world champion, Vladimir Kramnik, to be a mentor, someone who famously shielded his young team from all the pressure. And now, their own national hero, Rostam Kasimjanov, is coming back as head coach to lead them into the 2026 Olympiad, which will be held on home soil. So when you just lay it all out, you can see this was anything but an overnight success. It all began with that spark of inspiration from Kasimjanov's world title way back in 2004. Then it was turned into a strategic vision in 2016 and given a concrete action plan in 2021. The medals in 2022 and 2024, well, that's the proof of concept. And now all eyes are on 2026 when they host the Olympiad and try to reclaim that gold.
And all of this leaves us with one final, really fascinating question. Uzbekistan used this model to conquer the world of chess. But is this state-driven, heavily incentivized, education-first strategy something more? Could this actually be the new blueprint for how a developing nation can strategically invest in and build its most valuable resource of all, the minds of its people?